I was on my way from the valley to the city to come and speak this afternoon. I was on my phone with my wife, and she said, "Where are you going right now? It's Tisha B'Av." I said, "I'm going to speak in the city." She said, "People come to a shir in the middle of Tisha B'Av? The last thing I want to do is leave my house right now. Someone's going to be there?" I said, "You don't know about Shuva Yisrael. Shuva Yisrael, Tisha B'Av afternoon. They'd rather be here than watching all the movies that are on the screen today, to watch everything that's going on. They'd rather be in a place where there's going to be a live shiur of Torah, because everybody knows that when it's when it's live, you get much more out of it. When we speak together, we can see each other, we can grow together. There's a much greater benefit, Bezat Hashem, that there's going to be. So, Chazak u'Baruch to Rabbi Laniado, who continues to be a driving force in the Pico Robertson area, where I just looking at all the shiurim that are going on that's listed on the wall, I got tired just looking at it. So much opportunities, so many shiurim, so much Torah that you could learn. It's incredible. And Michael Achav should just continue to do all the beautiful work that you are doing. It's already the final hours of Tisha B'Av, and everybody sat on the floor already. Some of you mustered up one or two tears, perhaps, over the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. But I would imagine that probably the last thing that you want right now are words of rebuke and screaming and yelling and musar. I think at this time in the day, everybody needs a chizuk. Everybody needs to be inspired. Everybody needs to know what's going to be. Another Tisha B'Av has been here. And as it looks, in a few hours, another Tisha B'Av will have gone. The Beit HaMikdash is still not where it's supposed to be. Klal Yisrael is still fighting with each other. The Jewish people are all over the world in the Galut. There's 80% assimilation in America alone. People have tragedies and sicknesses and Rahman al-Islam, lo aleinu, so many difficulties in life. So we know the Beit HaMikdash is not here. Obviously, because if it was, the world would look a lot different. If there would be a Beit HaMikdash right now standing on its mountaintop in Yerushalayim HaKodesh, we wouldn't be here. That's number one. And number two, the world would look like a different place altogether. Happiness and peace and health and prosperity and no pressure, no lachatz, no worries, no anxiety. Whatever you want, it's coming straight through. So we don't need Musa right now. The fact that we are still here on Tisha B'Av, that's enough Musa in and of itself. But we need chizuk. We need to get a little bit inspired over here so that we'll know how we're going to go forward after today. The pasuk in Eicha says the following: Ani hagever, I am the gever, I am the man, the gever, the strong person. Ra ani, I've seen the affliction. B'shevet evrasai, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes out his wrath, his anger with his rod. He strikes down the Jewish people. It's talking over here about the destruction of Yerushalayim, of the Beit HaMikdash. And Yirmiyahu HaNavi is saying, Ani hagever, I am the strong person that has seen everything that is going on with all of Hashem's wrath. Eicha Rabbah, the Midrash on Eicha says the following words. Rabbi Brechya Omer, Rabbi Brechya says, Ani hagever, I am the gever, the strong man. What does that mean? Givartani la'amoid b'kulam, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you made me strong to be able to stand up to every challenge that you have sent my way. Today is the day that the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed. Today is the day that Klal Yisrael still finds itself in the Galut. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm thanking you that you've given me the inner strength to be oimed, to stand up in every single nisayon, every single challenge that you have sent my way. What does it mean, gever? Gever is a language of gibor. What does gibor mean? Strong. It means, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you made me strong. And that's what he goes on to say. You find the same language after the Teichacha, after Hashem rebukes Klal Yisrael in the Torah. It says, Atem nitzavim hayom kulchem. All of you are standing here today, after all the rebuke and everything, after all the destruction, kulchem giburim la'amoid bekulam. You are strong to be able to stand to everything. So Klal Yisrael has been in a big challenge and a big test for 2,000 years. And the chiddush of the Navi is that Hashem has given each of us in every single generation, wherever we might be living, wherever we might be, Hashem has given us the inner fortitude and the strength to be able to overcome every single challenge that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given us. Now, what exactly does that mean? Listen to the words of Rabbi Gamliel Rabinovich. He's one of the biggest Mekubalim, one of the biggest Kabbalists in the world today. And he says, Kasha HaKadosh Baruch Hu sholeach el ha'adam tsaros v'yisurim. When Hashem sends to a person suffering and pain, difficulties, physical, parnasah, shidduchim, shalom bayit, yaladim, whatever difficulties and suffering Hashem has sent a person, who ma'anik lo yachad im zois, together with the yisurim that he sends, gam kein kochod meyuchadim, Hashem sends you also special strength, that you'll be able to strengthen yourself against the Yisurim, the suffering that is coming your way. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we have a concept in the Gemara that tells us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends the refuah kodem hamaka. Hashem sends the healing agent before he sends the sickness, which means before anything bad is going to happen in your life, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has sent you exactly what you need to overcome that challenge. And that's what he's saying. At the same exact time that Hashem is sending you the Nisayon, He's sending you the Yisurim, He's sending you the Tzarot, the suffering, the pain. At the same time that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sending that, He's also sending you the strength inside to be able to overcome that nisayon, to stand up to the challenge that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving you, to be able to overcome bikol ha'yisurim, everything, like it says over here. And that's what Rabbi Berechi was saying. Givartani la'amoid bikulam. You gave me the strength to stand up in everything. Kloimar, what does that mean? Hashem yizborach nasan es hakoichais la'amoid b'kol ha'yisurim. This is an amazing idea. Hashem has given us the strength to be able to handle every challenge that He sends us in our life. Not just the ones that are easy, but even the very difficult challenges, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us the strength. That means whatever a person is going through in their lives, whatever they see is not going the way that they would like it to. The lost opportunities, the frustrations, the pain, the difficulty, the suffering, the hardships, the anxiety, the disappointments, all of the above, in every single part of your life, at the time that Hashem is sending the Yisurim, He's sending you the strength to be able to overcome. That means you have so much inside of you. You have so much emunah, you have so much bitachon, and you have a gavrus, you have a strength that you didn't even know that you had inside of you, and you could overcome any challenge that there is in the world. There was a couple living in Eretz Yisrael who was married for many years and they were not zochet to have children. They went to doctors, they went to rabbis for brachot, they went to the kivrei tzaddikim, the gravesides of tzaddikim, and they prayed with all of their heart. They poured it out. And nothing seemed to work. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, no matter what they did, nothing was bringing them a child. They found out about one last doctor that they never went to see before. And this doctor was supposed to be the biggest and the best and the smartest doctor of fertility issues in Klal Yisrael. And so they booked an appointment, and they brought with them their files of years and years of tests, of studies, of treatments, of doctors' opinions. And they brought it to this big, big, fancy doctor. And the doctor begins looking through everything that is in there. And he runs a few of his own tests on them. And he says, you'll come back in 2 days' time, we'll decide what we're going to do. And for the next 2 days, they have a little bit of hope. Maybe something's going to work. Maybe he'll find something. And when they walk in the doctor's office 2 days later, they can see on his face things are not looking very good for them. And the doctor sits them down, and he says to this husband and wife who are looking for a miracle, I'm sorry to tell you, but you will never, ever have children. There is nothing that I can do. And I see from all of the years of your treatments and your testing and the like, there's nothing that nobody else is able to do. Which means there's nothing that can be done in this world of medicine that is going to give you a child. I'm sorry to tell you, you will not have children. And the husband and wife, devastated, broken beyond belief. They pick themselves up, they go back into the car, and they drive home. And they drive home in dead silence. Neither of them can speak. They are so sad at this moment. And they come into the house, and the husband says, I was thinking the entire time, and I just want you to know that the doctor was our last hope. And if he says there's nothing that they can do, then there's nothing they can do. I've been davening every day since the day of our marriage that we're going to have children. And every single day in the bracha of Shema, Koleinu, and the Shemona Esrei, I always put in a special tefillah, please, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, give me a child. Shachris, Mincha, and Marv, and Arvit. He looks at his wife and he says, after I hear what the doctor says, I'm not davening anymore for a child. I'm finished. I will not pray another time that Hashem should give us children, because it's just driving me crazy. And if Hashem doesn't want us to have, so we won't have, we'll do something else. I'm not praying anymore for a child. And the wife looks at her husband and she says, I respect your feelings. I understand how you feel. I am devastated as well. But a doctor is a doctor, and Hashem is Hashem, and I will continue to pray that we have children. And the husband says, do whatever you want. I'm not praying anymore. When I get to Shema Koleinu, no more tefillahs. The next day, the husband wakes up early in the morning, as he usually does, and he goes to daven nets. And he comes to the minyan, and as he's on the way walking to the minyan, he says, remember, today is going to be the first day that you don't daven for a child. When you get to Shema Koleinu, just keep going through. You're not going to pray today. And he gets into the shul, he puts on his talit and his tefillin, and he begins saying brachot, and he's davening. As he's davening, he keeps saying, don't forget, you don't pray for children anymore. The doctor said you can't have, it's over. And he gets into the Birkat Kriyat Shema. And he says Shema, and he's getting closer to Shemona Esrei. And he keeps telling himself, don't forget, you're not going to daven for a child today. We don't pray for these things anymore. And then he gets in the Shemona Esrei. And he's getting one bracha away from Shema Koleinu. And he begins getting a little bit nervous. He says, don't forget, Shema Koleinu is coming. For the last 15 years of your life, you daven every single time to have a child. Today you don't daven. Do not ask for a baby. And he gets to the bracha of Shema Koleinu. And as he begins to say the words of Shema Koleinu, suddenly he hears in the shul a little infant baby crying, wah, wah. And the baby doesn't stop crying, wah, it's crying. And he's saying Shema Koleinu, and hears the child's cry. And the next thing he knows, he says, Rabbi, that's all that my wife and I want. We just want a baby of our own that's going to cry in our house and make us happy and bring us nachat, please Hashem. That's all that we want. And the man is crying, and he's got goosebumps running up and down his body, crying and crying and davening to Hashem to give him a baby. And the tefillah is over. And the man is looking around. Where did that baby come from? There's never been a baby in the Nate's Minyan in all the years that I'm here. What is the baby doing here today of all days? And he goes over to the father who has a baby in a stroller in the shul. He says, what is your child doing here? I said, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bother you during tefillah. I probably ruined your kavanah. No. Why is your baby here? He said, I'll tell you the truth. The baby was up like all night last night. My wife was up with the baby almost the entire night. She didn't sleep a wink. Finally, at like 4 o'clock in the morning, he fell asleep in the stroller. So, you know what I said to myself? I'm already up. Let me just wait till Nate's. I'll take the baby with me. He's probably going to sleep. He was up all night. And that way, my wife will be able to sleep in this morning so she has energy for the day. And then I brought him here, and he was so quiet. Suddenly, in the middle of Shemona Esrei, he begins crying. I'm so sorry to bother you. No! It's min hashamayim that you are here. I just had the most amazing tefillah of my entire life. Thank you. And less than 1 year later, the couple that the doctor said would never ever have children had their first child. Because if HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you a nisayon, He gives you a challenge in life, He's going to give you the koach that you need to overcome that challenge as well. Because as we know famously, Hashem will never give a person a nisayon that they cannot overcome. You understand? You will never receive anything in life that is too hard to bear. If Hashem sent it to you, He sent you along with it all the strength that you need to overcome it. Not just to overcome it, but like the Ramchal writes in the Mesilas Yesharim, Oimei bi Yisurim, to be able to stand up strong, to be able to stand up, to be able to grow, to be able to overcome, and to be able to go further in life as a result of that nisayon. So then that brings us to our very famous question. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu would never ever give a person a nisayon that they cannot handle and overcome, and together with the challenge and together with the yisurim, He's packaging it along with the strength. It's a special strength that Hashem is giving you from outside of yourself, and it comes inside. So then why do so many of us fail the challenges that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us in life? Why is Klal Yisrael still languishing away in the Galut for 2,000 years? And we can't get it right and get out of the Golis. Why was the Beis HaMikdash? We made a mistake. Why were the pogroms? We made a mistake. Why was there Inquisition? We made a mistake. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu will never give you Yisurim, He'll never give you an Nisayon that you can't handle, you can't overcome, then why do we continually fail the test of life? And on that, Rav Gamliel writes the following words. Ella Shabechira nitenis biyada adam. Every single one of us has something called bechira, free will. You choose what you want to do in your life. If you want to use these amazing powers that Hashem has given you to overcome the Yisurim and the challenges of life, use them. Or to get stronger in them. If you want to do that, you can do that. If you want to use what HaKadosh Baruch has given you, that package deal, the challenge and the strength, the suffering and the healing, you want to have all of that, you can use it. But you must use your bechira, your free will, in the right way. Because if not, you could, if you would like to, weaken yourself and choose not to strengthen yourself in that area. Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm giving you everything that you need. I'm giving you every ounce of strength that you personally need and require to overcome the Yisurim and the Nisyonot and the challenges of life. I'm giving it to you. Tailor-made packaged goods just for you. But whether or not you're going to use the strength and the power that I've given you, that is in your hands. I can't act for you. I can't make decisions for you. I can't dig in and grab the strength that is inside. There's a famous story. Rav Chaim Kreiswood was a genius of a man who went into the Holocaust. I believe it was in Auschwitz. And there was an older Jew that was there, and he saw that Rav Kreiswood was a genius head. And he said, listen to me, young man. I'm older, I'm very sick, I don't know if I'm going to make it. So I want to ask you a favor. You're young and you're strong. God willing, you're going to survive. He said, I have a Swiss bank account with a lot of money, and I have one son. I hope that he survives the war. I don't know where he is right now. But if he survives and I die, he's the only living heir, the only living relative that's going to receive my money. So do me a favor, he says. I want you to remember the number of my account in the Swiss bank account. And it was a long number. And he told over Rabbi Kreisworth. And Rabbi Chaim Kreisworth said it back. And he reviewed the number again and again and again in the horrors of Auschwitz. No food, no drink, no money, nothing. He was committing to his ingenious memory this number. And he survived the war, and that man died. Now he had an obligation. He needs to find the son of this man. So he knew what town the person was from, and he knew the name of the person. And whenever Rabbi Kreisel would meet a survivor from the Holocaust, he would always ask them, what's your name? Oh, and what town are you from? Oh, are you happen to be the son of... No, oh. And for years and years and years and years, he could not locate the son. One day, Rabbi Kreisworth is in his house, and there's a knock on the door. And he opens the door, and there is a poor man coming and asking for tzedakah. And he welcomes him in. He says, come sit down. Are you thirsty? He says, yes, I am thirsty. Are you hungry? Yes, I am hungry. And he begins to serve him. And he says, oh, where are you from? I'm from that town. You're from that town? What is your last name? And the man tells him, let's say the name was Wagner. Wagner? You're Wagner from that shtetl over there in Europe? Yes. Was your father Yaakov? Yes. How did you know? Do you know who you are? You're a multi-millionaire. Your father was with me in Auschwitz and he was dying and he made me remember the number of the Swiss bank account. And he said, I have a son. And one day maybe you'll find him, and if you do, please give him the money. You're the son. For 30 years I've been looking for you. You're a man who's going around door to door begging for money? you don't even know what a millionaire you truly are. Says Rav Gamliel Rabinovich, every single one of us, we got millions inside of us. Millions of kochot, of powers, of strength, of ability to overcome any nisayon that Hashem sends our way. So why do we fail? Because we're like the poor man knocking on doors, begging, because we don't know that we have millions of dollars in the bank. You don't know how much you have to yourself. And therefore, we struggle through every challenge in our life. We struggle with the emunah, we struggle with the simcha, we struggle with the anxiety, we struggle with this, we struggle. And Hashem says, why are you struggling? If I gave you the nisayon, if I gave you the challenge, at the same exact time, I gave you the koichos, the strengths, and the abilities to overcome that as well. And he goes on, he continues. What happens to a person when they're failing the test? Does anybody feel good when they're failing the test? They find themselves in the middle of a big challenge. Things are really not going my way. Things are crushing down all around me. How am I going to get through this? It's impossible. So what does the person do? He begins complaining. Hashem, why are you doing this to me? Are you sure you met me? Maybe you met my brother. Maybe you met my neighbor. Maybe you met that annoying guy in shul who sits in the corner all the time and he's always bumping his belt against the stender and it bothers me in the middle of the Shemona Esrei. Why'd you come to me? What did I do wrong? Our sages teach us in the Gemara Makot, B'derech she'adam roitze leilach ba, the way in which a person wants to go, Meilichin oisai, he will be drawn in that direction. Which means, if you want to strengthen yourself in that nisayon, in that challenging situation that you're in, you will be ma'anik, you'll nurse, so to speak, from the powers in heaven that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving you to be able to be oimed to overcome this. As all the potential, all the powers, all the abilities, all the strength to be able to overcome. That's if you do the right thing. The way in which a person wants to go, you'll be drawn in that direction. But if you don't want to strengthen yourself, it takes hard work. See, we think we live in America, even though you all come from someplace else. But now you're already been destroyed by American society. So you think everything is easy. Everything is, you press send, you press buy on Amazon, and an hour later it's in your driveway. You think that you just type, and next thing you have airplane tickets and you're going to fly across the world. No problem. You're hungry, but you're too lazy to leave the house. No problem. Uber Eats right here. I have to wait an extra 7 minutes. I can live with the extra 7 minutes. I'll take a snack in the meantime. So we think that everything that we have in our life is supposed to come very easy. That's why nobody wants to work any more hard in the world. The Americans, they have like the worst work ethic in the entire universe. You offer a young man today a raise because you're going to give him more responsibilities in the office. He says, wait a second, I have to work harder? Well, yeah, that's how it works. If you work harder, so we're going to give you a bigger salary. I've got Pilates and yoga and the gym. I've got that coffee bean that I have to stop at every morning. I've got acacia, what is that? Acai bowls I have to have. I got to watch the movie and I have to catch up on the news. I can't take a harder job, I'm sorry. Keep my salary where it is. In the olden days, as old as I am, if you were offered a promotion, you snatched it because everybody's trying to become greater. Today we just want easy. Easy, don't have to work so hard. In order to overcome a nisayon in life, in order to raise up to the challenges, in order to have the perseverance and the koyach that you need to go through the Yisurim, you need one thing. You have to be willing to work hard. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you all the strength that you need to be able to do that. And so why did we fail Nisyonot? Why did we fail the challenges of life? For one reason, and one reason only. We don't understand the kochot, the strength that HaKadosh Baruch Hu put inside of us. We don't realize that Hashem gave us so much at the time that He's giving us the Nisayon, and we don't want to work so hard to overcome it. Oh, so we have to work too hard? It's not worth it. I'll just fail. You'll fail. If you're going to go, imagine you're going to be a brain surgeon. Aren't all Persians brain surgeons? You're going to be a brain surgeon. And you're holding by the last exam. And it's really, really hard. You have to basically simulate an actual brain surgery. Now you've been through 9, 10, 12 years of school. You're already about $700,000 in debt. You're trying to figure out how you're going to pick yourself up after all this, and finally you'll be called a PhD and your mother's going to let you back in the house. And now you're by the last test. Brain surgery. And you look at it and you say, it's so hard. It's so hard to do. How am I supposed to figure this one out? And the doctor said, look, you have 3 days to prepare yourself for the brain surgery. Come in after 3 days, do it right, you're a PhD doctor, brain surgeon number 1. Now you have 3 days. What do you do with those 3 days? Do you sit around in the house and, whoa, it's so hard. I didn't realize it was going to be so hard to be a brain surgeon. I thought it was going to be easier than that. Forget it. 12 years of school down the drain, forget it. Or do you say, this is what I've been waiting for all of my life. This is the final exam. And if I study hard and I work hard, I watch all the videos and figure everything out, I'm going to become a brain surgeon. I hope you'll make the right choice. I hope you'll work hard for those 3 days and you'll make sure that you know how to do a brain surgery and you pass the flying colors. But you have to work hard. There's no other way around it. You will only overcome the nisyonot of life if you're pushing and pushing and pushing. If you are not pushing, you will fail at every single test that you go through. Klal Yisrael is 2,000 years in the Gullus. 2,000 years already. That's a very, very long time. And those 2,000 years have seen a lot of tragedies and a lot of mistakes of Klal Yisrael. Many, many, many mistakes. Many faults, many failures. We lost a lot. And it's all because we didn't work hard enough. We allowed the world around us to be too enticing, to be too attractive. The things that the world tells us are important, we say, yeah, you're right, that's important. And the things they tell you are not important, yeah, you're right, that's not important. Good midot and ehrlich and honest in business, you're right, it's not important. You've got to make money, that's what we're here to do, make money. And so Klal Yisrael has suffered at the hands of our enemies thousands of years as a payment from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you don't overcome the nisyonot of life, you don't strengthen yourself. We don't realize that we fail, and if we fail, Rahman al-Islam, who knows what else is coming? So if we want that next year at this time, we are not going to be sitting in this shul. It's very lovely. They've done a lot of very nice work over here. But I'm sure that everybody would much rather be in the Beit HaMikdash. I'm sure you'd rather be in Yerushalayim HaKodesh together with all of your friends and your family and all of Klal Yisrael. And therefore we have to commit ourselves this year as the hours of TISHA are waning. That Rabbi Shalom, I'm going to recognize that every nisayon that you have given me, you've given me the strength to be able to overcome the challenge. And overcoming challenges doesn't come easy. I understand that now. I'm going to work harder and harder and harder to be able to succeed. in your dreams that you have for me, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because you believe in me, that's why you gave me the package deal. The challenge and the ability to overcome it at the same time. I want to leave you off with a story that goes back to the days of the Holocaust. There was a whole sect of Hasidim before the war broke out called the Gerer Hasidim. Ger, which is still today, Baruch Hashem, one of the biggest Hasidus in the world. They have a shul, a Beis Midrash in Eretz Yisrael. It's about the size of one football field, if not more. It's gigantic. And they are a huge, huge, thousands of people daven there every single day. The mashkiach of the yeshiva before the war was a person by the name of Rav Gadol Eisner. And Rav Gadol Eisner was a tzaddik, Yesod Olam. He was a master of understanding people. He was a Oved Hashem. He served HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he gave strength to many, many of his talmidim, of his students over the years. The war broke out, and the Nazis, Yamach Shemam, they took in the Jews from Ger, and he was sent off to the concentration camps. And one day, as he was walking along the barbed wire fence, lost in thought, he bumps into somebody. And he looks for a moment and he realizes it's one of his precious Talmidim students from the yeshiva from before the war. But this boy, Moshe, whoa, what he looked like right now, a shell of himself. He was emaciated beyond belief. He was more skeleton than he was human being. His eyes were sunken into his face. There was not even one drop of liquid in his eyes anymore. They had dried out from all of the tears that he shed. He looked terrible. And Rav Gadol said to him, Moshe, you're here. Moshe, you're alive, you're here. And the student looked at him and he says, Rebbe, he says, give me something. I'm so broken. I'm so destroyed. Give me something, please. And at that moment, this young man puts his head on the shoulder of his Rebbe and he begins crying without tears because he has no tears left. And then he pulls back and says, please, Rebbe, teach me something. Give me some chizuk. Give me something I can hold on to. It's so painful here. I lost everything. My parents and my siblings and my babas and my zaydas, my aunts and my uncles and my grandparents. I lost everything. I don't know if I would even live till tomorrow. I'm so weak. Give me something, Rebbe. One word of inspiration that I can hold on to. And the Rebbe begins holding him again and he's hugging him. And then he reaches into his uniform. How he managed to pull this off, I have no idea, but he pulls out of his uniform 2 pieces of crumpled paper. And he begins smoothing them out and straightening them out. And he says to his student, Moshe, come and let's learn together a little bit of the chovos halavavos, the chavot halavavot, the duties of the heart. I keep this with me and I learn from it every day to give me the chizuk, to give me the strength that I need to survive in this place. Come, let's learn together. And where is he learning from? From the beginning of Shar Ahavat Hashem, the loving Hashem. And the Chovos Levavos says over there a story about a certain chassid, a very pious person, a righteous man. And it says like this, like it says about one of the chassidim, Shayakam b'layla v'omar. He would get up at night and he would say to himself the following, Elokai, my God, Haraftani, I am famished. Va'erum azavtani, you've abandoned me and I'm left naked, I have nothing. In the darkness of the night, though, I'm coming towards you. And I swear with your strength and your greatness. And then he says the following words. Even if you would burn me up with fire, I would only add on more love to you. V'simcha becha, and the great joy that I have, that I belong to you. Says the Horowitz Levavos, what was this chassid saying in his darkest moments of his life? Ribono shel olam, I know that if you put me in this situation, there's only one thing I'm going to do. I will increase more and more and more my love, my burning love for you, and simcha bach, and my happiness. Because I know that whatever you put me through, and whatever challenges I must endure, and whatever suffering I have to go through, and whatever nisyonot, whatever test, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that you made specifically for me, I know at the same time, you gave me the power inside to overcome, to stand up strong, and to grow from that nisayon. May we be zoiche b'ezrat Hashem, that as the final hours of TISHA B'Av are here, we don't want to be here again next year, trust me. Especially with the traffic in Los Angeles, it's not a pleasure to drive from the valley to the city on a tinus, trust me. And you don't want to be here either. Rabbi Lanel, you have a beautiful shul, but we'd all rather be in Yerushalayim in the Beit HaMikdash. So if we want to really be there, we have to take it upon ourselves this year. We're going to act different when the Nisayon comes. And instead of losing the battle, instead of caving into the fight, instead of complaining as Hashem, why me, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I don't understand. We're going to say, you know what? If HaKadosh Baruch Hu has put me in this nisayon in my life, and these Yisurim and Sarot are here, it means that at the same exact time Hashem's given me the strength to be able to overcome and be stronger and become greater as a result. And B'ezrat Hashem, and that zechut, that we're all trying so hard this up and coming year, we should pass the biggest nisayon of all, and that's the 2,000 years of the Galut. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu should see how much we want that He comes back to Tzion, and we should be zeiche to the Bias Goyal Tzedek, the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu and the third Beis HaMikdash, B'mheira v'yameinu. Yeah.